Welcome back, artistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Meta Monday episode in this PTCGO series. Meta Monday is that day of the week where we take a look at a competitive deck from the past or the present in a Pokémon TCG Online meta, as well as decks. Alright, we are in a standard tournament, a 4-ticket standard tournament where the first place gets 3 booster packs. This is the first round of the tournament versus LNC with a Lightning, Colonist and a Psychic deck. So right off the bat, it seems like we are facing Night March, which is going to be an interesting battle. We are at a disadvantage for sure. Do we go first? No, we shall not go first. If this is Night March, we want to go second and get the first knockout here. We don't want my opponent to get a knockout on us. There is the Zygarde. Hopefully my opponent starts off with a Joltik, because we have a really bad hand here. This is not a good hand. If we are facing a Pumpkaboo, we will have to hope that our opponent benches a Stadium to help us knock out the Pumpkaboo. Oh boy, this is already looking very grim, and it is a Pumpkaboo. We need top deck something nice here. We need to top deck a draw supporter for sure. There is the first battle compressor of the game, going to discard a couple of Lampons, maybe a draw supporter like a Sycamore, if my opponent doesn't have a draw supporter in hand. And yes, there it is, 2 Lampons and a Sycamore, exactly as predicted. I think my opponent must have a VS Seeker in hand. If that's the case, we just have to... Oh yeah, there's a VS Seeker already. Is he going to Sycamore already? That would be a bit awkward for my opponent if he would have to discard all of those cards in his hand. That would be quite awkward indeed. If he doesn't go for the Sycamore, we shall just pray that he passes the turn for some reason. But if I were my opponent, I would Sycamore, even with a hand like his. Maybe he's got like 3 DCEs in it, something like that. If that's the case, he should attach 1 DCE to the Pumpkaboo for sure. But I'm not sure what's going on. He doesn't seem to know what to do. He must have a really bad hand, or a really difficult hand to deal with some important cards in there. Maybe 3 puzzles of time or something like that. And there is a Sycamore, so he did decide to go with Sycamore. I'm not sure why it took him so long. I would have definitely gone with the Sycamore with that hand. That was not a bad hand at all. That was actually not painful for him to discard, because now he can access all of those supporters with his VS Seekers. I think, I'm not sure what took him so long there. There is a Stadium. Will we see anything else? Will we see some Shaymins? My opponent does run Shaymin. I saw the colorless typing in his loading screen. Another battle compressor. Yeah, we need to get going here if we want to stand a chance against this Night March deck. We need to top deck something for sure. I think we'll see 2 more Lampons and maybe a Joltik. Pumpkaboo is definitely the way to go for my opponent. We can win the Stadium War if we can find our Stadiums in time. We have 4 Stadiums. My opponent probably has 3 or 4. But my opponent benched his Stadium first, which means that we can always outbench my opponent's Stadium, if that's even a thing, if that even exists. It benches another Pumpkaboo, and that's it. No DCEs yet. We top deck a counter Stadium. I will counter the Stadium, and then I will just have to hit for my Land Pulse, unfortunately. Very unfortunate. Hopefully we can stay alive. Land Pulse for 40 damage, which is just shy of a knockout on this Pumpkaboo. What a missed opportunity here. We needed to get that knockout for sure. If only we could have top decked an Ultra Ball, then we could have Ultra Balled for a Hoopa for 2 Regirock and a Shaymin, and get going that way. All we need is a Trainer's Mail or an Ultra Ball. And the Trainer's Mail we would use to look for an Ultra Ball, of course. A puzzle of time for my opponent. Is he stuck with a bad hand again? Or is he using 2 puzzles to get back the Sycamore and maybe something else? Let's just hope he's stuck with a bad hand. Actually played 2 puzzles. Is going to counter the Stadium once more and going to Compressor once more. Interesting. Does that mean he has Sycamore in hand, or a VS Seeker for a Sycamore? I think it does. I think we'll see a VS Seeker for a Sycamore, or a Sycamore itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Let's take a look again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 140 damage. That is not enough for a knockout just yet. And a VS Seeker for a Sycamore. Look at that. I should be playing instead of my opponent. I can already guess what he's going to do. And there is a 3rd puzzle. That means we won't see any more puzzles. Can he find another battle compressor? Trainer's Mail. This can be it. How many Pokemon does he need in the discard pile? 9 and a Fighting Fury Belt. He needs 2 more Pokemon in the discard pile, and he needs to find a Fighting Fury Belt. It's a Sycamore. It's neither of the two that he needs. So we'll get hit for quite a bit of damage here. Hopefully we can find something to deal with the Pumpkaboo on my opponent's bench. Ultra Ball is going to look for a Shaymin. This could be it here. Discarded. Not a Night Marcher. Fails to find a Shaymin. Are you kidding me? Are all of his Shaymins prized? Is that really what's happening here? We get hit for 140, a lot of damage. We have our Scoop Ups. Unfortunately, we don't have a backup attacker. Oh, Carbink, huh? I need to bench the Carbink for sure. The question is here, do I try to use my Scoop Ups and scoop up the Zygarde-EX? Or do I knock out the Pumpkaboo? I think I need to knock out the... I need to scoop up the Zygarde if I want to stay in the game here. But it might be the case that my opponent cannot find another DCE in the next turn. So I could take a gamble here and gamble that my opponent cannot find the DCE. It's still looking pretty grim for us anyway, so I'm going to make that gamble attached to my Zygarde. I don't know why did I do that. I wanted to attach to the Carbink. That was a misplay. I wanted to attach to the Carbink. We don't need to attach to the Zygarde. Anyways, let's hit for the Cell Storm. Heal up a little bit and see what we can get from the prizes. We do take the first knockout here. It is an N. Alright, so we are not completely lost. We are not completely lost. Too bad I attached to the Zygarde. I didn't really mean to do that. I was just looking at the Zygarde and my mind went, hey, let's just attach to that Zygarde. That's what my mind said to me. Teammates, there is a DCE and something else. Oh, this is going to be painful. We are going to have to promote our Carbink and look for some more Zygardes. Hopefully we can find some strong energies and a counter stadium. So my opponent is going to go down to 4 prizes. We are going to go down to... Well, we have 5 prizes left. But then my opponent will knock out the Carbink. There is no question about it. Unless we can power up a Zygarde and hit for a knockout on this Pumpkaboo. There is the Shaymin. Why did he fail the Shaymin search before? I am not too sure actually. I am not too sure. Maybe he didn't want us to use an Escape Rope or something like that. Another Dimension Valley so my opponent can counter the Stadium. However, we will end him down to 4 cards. Shuffle back that Stadium in his deck. But there it is. There is a knockout on our Zygarde. If only I had this energy on my Carbink and I could have attacked with the Carbink. Potentially gone for a knockout on this Pumpkaboo. That is really, really sad. Let's counter that Stadium straight away here. And then let's go for our N. My goodness. Hopefully we can get an Ultra Ball here. We need to find an Ultra Ball. And there is no Ultra Ball. No, nothing for us. Oh boy, this is not looking good. I am going to have to probably promote the Regirock 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With the Fighting Fury Belts. No, he needs another Night Marcher in the discard pile. Yeah, I'm gonna promote the Regirock. Do I want to promote the Regirock? Yeah, I will. I can always scoop it up. What a bad draw that was from the end. That was unbelievably bad. One of the worst ends so far I have had with this deck. I cannot believe that. We have not much luck here. And my opponent counters the Stadium once more. There's a Muscle Band, which is going to be a knockout on our Regirock. Oh boy, this is looking very, very bad for us. And another Battle Compressor. Is he going to Battle Compressor his last Night Marchers? Please do. Please compress all of your Night Marchers. That would give us a chance at winning this game. This was such a bad game with this deck. I'm not gonna lie, because we just didn't manage to draw into anything of our starting hand, of our end. Otherwise, if we could have, I think we would have stood a decent chance against my opponent's deck here, because my opponent couldn't really get going himself in his first turn. So just too much bad luck for us, and bad luck is going to cause us to lose this game basically. as well as my misplay of attaching the energy to the Zygarde. My opponent's down to 6 cards. What did he discard? He didn't discard any more Night Marchers. So he's going to hit for the knockout on our Regirock-EX. We need to hit back for the knockout for sure. It is now or never. If he can't hit for the knockout, it's GG. What is taking him so long? I don't know. It's a pretty clear-cut strategy here for my opponent. Very easy for him what he needs to do. He doesn't even need to bench another Night Marcher. He can just attack here. Because he has a Floatstone on the Shaymin. He does bench another Pumpkaboo. One of our goals is going to have to be to run our opponent out of DCE or out of cards if we can. He's down to 4 cards. Man, that Muscle Band. I have never seen Muscle Band in Night March. That's unfortunate for us that my opponent plays Muscle Band. Another Acrobike. What is he doing? He brought himself down to 2 cards. He's going to puzzle. I don't know what he's doing. Why is he trying to deck himself out? I have no clue here. No clue. And where are his other Night Marchers? Probably in his prizes. Knockout, 200 damage onto our Regirock. Alright then. Alright, what can we do here? What can we do? Sycamore or Korrina. Sycamore it is, for sure. Sycamore is much better than Korrina. There is a Zygarde. Look at that. We are going to... Actually, we are going to Focus Sash this Carbink. Prevent a knockout on the Carbink. Then let's take a look at the Trainer's Mail. Can we get another Focus Sash? We can get a Battle Compressor or a VS Seeker. Do I need a VS Seeker? I don't think so. I don't think so. I need a counter stadium. That's what I need. Well, I'm gonna grab the VS Seeker anyway, so we can Sycamore in the next turn. Then I think for now we just have to hit for the... Let's see, my opponent is hitting for 200 damage. 7, 9, yeah, it's 200. If we bench this Zygarde, he can Lysandre it out and knock it out. So I'm not going to bench the Zygarde. How many VS Seekers has he used? What? 0 VS Seekers. Oh, actually 3 VS Seekers. He has 1 more VS Seeker somewhere. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk that. I'm going to leave this Carbink in the active spot. I am risking a 0-Seek, but I don't think my opponent plays 0-Seek. It doesn't look like it. He plays 2 teammates for some reason. I think one of those teammates should be a 0-Seek. So we are just going to attach to the Carbink and hit for 40 damage. I think I might as well evolve into the Carbink Break here. Thin out my deck a little bit. And hopefully we can deck out our opponent that way. Where is our Carbink Break? There is the Carbink Break. In the next turn I'm going to bench my Zygarde and probably try to find a Focus Sash for it with a Sycamore. So we shall hit for the Power Gem for 20 damage on that Pumpkaboo. In the next turn that can be a knockout. My opponent's down to 1 card with his Night March deck. Still not sure what he was trying to do there. Still not sure at all. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting here. Night March hitting for 200 damage. All we need to do is find a Focus Sash for our Regirock. That's all we need to do for our Zygarde. And I think I can easily do that. I can just Korrina. Yeah, I can just Korrina here. Korrina for a Focus Sash. And probably a Professor's Letter. So let's get out a Regirock as well. But we are not going to bench that. We are just going to look for our Focus Sash. And then we have to hope we won't see a 0-Seek or a Startling Megaphone. Okay, this should do it for us. We have a backup Pokemon, so my opponent can now knock out the Carbink Break. We are fine with that. We shall hit for the Diamond Gift. Do we have any energies in our discard pile, actually? I think we have 1 energy in our discard pile. 2 energies, that is good. So we shall hit for the Diamond Gift. Put 2 energies on our Zygarde. And in the next turn we might actually see an attack with the Zygarde. We could just pass our turn to win the game in the next turn if my opponent doesn't use an N. But if he can't find an N, I'm just still going to attack. I want to see the Zygarde attack against Pumpkaboo. And there is an Escape Rope into the Shaymin. Not sure why. Why Escape Rope into the Shaymin? Why would he not go for a knockout on our Carbink Break? Oh, Lysandre on Shaymin, Sky Return, but that's it. It is GG. We won against Night March because my opponent made some misplays for some reason. I don't know what my opponent did there. Can we even knock out this Pumpkaboo? I don't think we can, so we are just going to pass our turn. Well, let's just bench the Regirock, hit for the Cell Storm, heal off 30 damage, and win the game that way. 50 damage on the Pumpkaboo. And a pass of the turn for the win against Night March. Amazing stuff, look at that. Wow, even with a dysfunctional start, even with drawing into nothing, we managed to take the win there. That is just fantastic. What a fantastic win that was. It looks like we are going to be facing Plunder Boy in the next round, so I'm going to cut here until the next round starts. The second round of the day is versus Plunder Boy with a Grass, Darkness and a Psychic deck. Oh my goodness, hopefully this is not Vespiquen. I think this is Vespiquen. I think this is Vespiquen without Shaymin though. I don't think my opponent is running Shaymin. We start off with our Lucario and an Ultra Ball for a Hoopa for Shaymin. Hopefully we have the Shaymin in our deck. So let's click done. We don't have any other basics to bench. And it's not a... oh, it's a Sceptile deck. This could give us some trouble here because Sceptile is a grass Pokemon as well and can heal up quite a bit of damage, so we need to try to deal with Mega Sceptile EX before it can get the loop going of healing between Mega Sceptiles. I think I need to find my Startling Megaphone here. Get rid of the Spirit Links on the Sceptiles. There is a Battle Compressor. Ooh, and a Zoroark. Zoroark is fighting weak, so we are going to knock out that Zoroark. If our opponent cannot find another basic, this is going to be GG. All we need to do is find one energy here. Our opponent discards two Sceptiles. Might just get them back with Revitalizer. There is the Revitalizer. Wow. That Battle Compressor and Revitalizer combo, that was pretty good. Sycamore for 7 new cards. Discarded the Zoroark Break. I think my opponent might retreat the Zoroark. Well, we are actually not hitting for weakness, so we need a strong energy to knock out the Zoroark and a Regirock. A Spirit Link right there on the Sceptile. Can we discard the Spirit Link? Hopefully my opponent finds another Spirit Link to put on the other Sceptile, so we can discard 2 Spirit Links. But no, just a pass of the turn. There is an energy. I am not sure if I want to use that energy right now. I think I'm going to... I'm not sure what to do here. Do we discard a Scoop Up? I think I'm going to discard a Scoop Up. I want to keep the Focus Sash. So we're going to discard a Scoop Up and... Hex Maniac, Scoop Up. Yeah, we could discard this energy, but I don't want to risk not having an energy to attack. And we're going to look for Hoopa. And then Hoopa for 3 Regirock and a Zygarde maybe. 3 Regirock would guarantee us a knockout on this Zoroark. And that would put us in a really good spot. Well, we can actually not Hoopa for 3 Regirock. What am I saying? What am I saying indeed? 2 Regirock. And do we go for a Shaymin? Yeah, we need a Shaymin to draw into some more cards. 2 Regirock and a Shaymin. This might just be a near miss on the knockout then. Unless we can find the other Regirock. So let's bench 1 Regirock, let's bench another one. Then let's also bench our Stadium. I'm going to discard some more cards here. What do we not need to see at the moment? How many V-Seekers do we have? 4 V-Seekers. I'm going to put my Lysandre in the discard pile. I'm also going to put the AZ in the discard pile so we have access to the AZ. And possibly a Korrina. We only have 2 Korrina. No, I'm going to go for a Sycamore then. Then we have a Draw Supporter in the discard pile. Okay, so all we need is an Ultra Ball right here. Let's attach this to the Lucario. Let's also attach the Focus Sash for now. Do I want to do that? I want to keep it for my Zygardes. But I also need to draw into some more cards here. So I'm going to attach it. Bench my Shaymin, draw into 5 more cards. This is already a better start than last game. There is Zygarde and an Ultra Ball. I might have to discard this Eco Arm. Yeah, I think I will have to discard the Eco Arm. I need to get another Regirock, knock out this Zorua right now. So we are going to discard, maybe not, we are going to discard the Zygarde and the Eco Arm. We can always shuffle back the Zygarde using our Super Rod. And we are going to grab a Regirock. It looks like we don't have the Carbink in our deck. Carbink is going to be very useful for us against Mega Sceptile. So we'll need to try to find it from the prizes. These Regirocks are a big Lysandre target for my opponent's Sceptiles, but I think we have a slight advantage right now because we outsped my opponent. Let's see, a Scoop Up. Do I want to Scoop Up my Shaymin? I don't think so. I'm just going to hit for the Missile Jab for the knockout on this Zorua. Oh, isn't affected by resistance. I didn't need 3 Regirock. It was resistance. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, that's I wouldn't have benched 3 Regirock if I had known that. A Spirit Link. Oh, now is the time when we need to get rid of the Spirit Links. Never mind, it's too late. It was too late. There are the Mega Sceptiles. My opponent needs another energy on the Mega Sceptile though, before he can start healing up. A Sceptile and a Mega Sceptile. And that's all my opponent will ever need here. So I'm going to have to scoop up one of these Regirocks. I need to find a counter stadium, and I also need to find a strong energy to do a lot of damage. Let's get rid of this energy here. Sycamore and another energy. Not really what I wanted to see. Can I scoop up a Regirock? I cannot. I can hit for 90, but that's not really ideal. Do I want to shuffle back the Zygardes? No, I don't think I will. I have another one in my deck somewhere. I think I'm just going to discard my hand here. This entire hand. Could Lysandre out a Hoopa, or I could AZ up a Regirock, but what's the point of that? No, I'm just going to discard my entire hand, try to find a strong energy. There is a strong energy and a counter stadium, excellent. That is what we wanted to see. I could Escape Rope, but I don't have a way to put my Lucario back in the active spot, so I'm just going to attach the strong energy, hit for 1, 2, 3, 60, 90, 110, 130 on the Mega Sceptile EX. And we shall draw into one more card. It is a Trainer's Mail, excellent. In the next turn we can get hit for 100 damage. And there it is, a victory from our opponent. We actually managed to pull this off. My opponent conceded. We outsped the Mega Sceptile deck. Just barely here. Just barely. I think we managed to put just enough pressure on my opponent to make him feel like conceding here. That was very close, very close indeed. 250 damage with Lucario, MVP Lucario-EX versus no one. Let's see how many players are still battling. Well, it looks like Ferrero777 and Magic97 are still battling, so I'm gonna catch here until they are done. And hopefully in the finals we will see some Zygarde action, because until now we haven't seen too much Zygarde at all. Ferrero77 is going to be our last opponent with a Fire and a Psychic deck, and I think we are finally facing an opponent where our Zygarde will be able to shine, because we are not facing any grass types, and if we get a good hand we should be able to get out our Zygarde and pressure our opponent with the Lance Pulse. We even get to go first, which is amazing. And we start off with another terrible hand. This is I cannot believe this. Well, as long as we win, I'll be happy. My opponent mulligan, so we will draw an extra card from that mulligan. Hopefully we can get an end from that top deck or a Korrina. I would be happy with the Korrina as well, because then I can get an Ultra Ball. So just one card, one mulligan. It is an Escape Rope, and there is a Flareon. We top deck the Ultra Ball. Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice. I think I will have to discard this Escape Rope here. Or do I discard the Scorched Earth? Maybe the Scorched Earth, actually. And one regular energy. Yeah, I'm going to discard the Scorched Earth. I don't want to give my opponent any means of drawing any more cards than he can with his hand that he has. And we are going to look for the Hoopa. We don't have the Shaymin. Very unfortunate. No Shaymin. Now I regret discarding that stadium. The Carbink is in our deck, that's good news. So we're going to Hoopa for 2 Regirocks. And maybe another Zygarde, I'm not too sure yet. Let's just see. 2 Regirocks, do we go for another Zygarde or do we go for a Lucario? I think I'm going to go for a Lucario, because if we can't top deck anything, we can use the Corkscrew Smash here. Yeah, let's go for the Lucario. And we shall attach 1 strong energy to our Zygarde. In the next turn we can hit for 20 plus 20 plus 20, that's 60 plus 20, that's 80, plus 20 more from another strong energy, that's 100. Actually no, let's start it over. 20 plus 20 is... Well, I'm going to attach and pause my turn and then do the calculations. Yeah, let's just end our turn here. Not going to bench the Lucario just yet. I don't want to reveal any information that I don't have to reveal. So we are hitting for 60 plus 40 from the strong energies. That's 100 plus the stadium is 120. 120 damage on the Flareon. That is a 2-hit knockout. The Flareon can hit for a 2-hit knockout as well. So we'll have to watch out for that. A Roller Skates. My opponent already discarded 1 energy. We don't want to see a Blacksmith. As long as we don't see a Blacksmith, we should be fine. An Acrobike. Discarding a Max Elixir. There is the Scorched Earth for my opponent. So he did have his own Scorched Earth, as I expected. So that's why I didn't want to give him my Scorched Earth. Force him to draw into his own. There's 2 energies in the discard pile. Does he have a Blacksmith from his opening hand? If he has, I will have to attach to my Lucario instead of the Regirock, because the Zygarde, I mean, because the Zygarde will go down. An Ultra Ball discards 2 more energies, wow, and gets another Flareon. A backup Flareon. Oh, and 20 from the Regirocks. I completely forgot the Regirocks, so we are hitting for 140 in the next turn. 140. That is pretty darn close to a 1-hit KO. With another Regirock and a Muscle Band, that would actually be a 1-hit KO. Sycamore, no Blacksmith, which is excellent. I wonder what the Psychic typing is. It is unknown and possibly Hoopa. Looks like this is just gonna be a straight up Flareon deck. Max Elixir to the Flareon on the bench. How many energies does Flareon need? 50, 140, 7 energies on 1 Flareon is what my opponents need. Is what my opponent needs to 1-hit KO our Zygarde. But we have that Focus Sash Escape Rope. We have our own Escape Rope, so we don't really mind. I will promote my Hoopa. What is my opponent going to promote? My opponent could not promote the Unknown though. Hopefully my opponent uses that Unknown right now, so that if we Escape Rope, no, it doesn't look like it. He's just going to use Flash Fire. There's a Heatmore. And he uses the Unknown, excellent. But now he benched that Heatmore, so he could promote the Heatmore, which is a problem. And just a pass of the turn. We get a VS Seeker. Do I attack? Do I attack this Flareon EX? I think I'm going to go aggressive here. Let's just first Escape Rope, see what my opponent promotes. It's probably going to be the Heatmore. If it is a Heatmore, I think I'm not going to attach to my Zygarde, but he actually promotes the Flareon. I think that's a bit of a mistake there. So I'm going to attach to my Zygarde. I'm also going to bench the Lucario. Should I do it? No, maybe not. We shall just... Oh, never mind. I think I didn't put it back down enough, so it benched it for me while I was trying to put it back into my hand. Let's counter that Stadium. And then let's... I'm not going to attach the Focus Sash. My opponent cannot one-hit KO this Zygarde. There is no way my opponent can one-hit KO it. So we are going to hit for the Cell Storm for 140 damage. In the next turn, that is going to be a knockout on this Flareon. And all we need to do then is look for our Carbink and our Carbink Break. That's all we need to do to make sure that we can power up another Zygarde-EX very, very easily against this Flareon deck. Still no draw supporter, so another very, very slow start for us. Luckily we had some useful cards in the hand. Blacksmith and a Max Elixir. 5 energies in play, but my opponent is only hitting for 110 with the Flareon, and we are going to heal off 30 damage from that Blaze Ball with our Cell Storm. Oh, it's 120 because of the Fighting Fury Belt. Another Zygarde. I think I'm going to hold off now for now. My opponent can one-hit KO our Zygarde in the next turn. Or can KO the Zygarde, not one-hit KO, it's going to be a 2-hit KO. Because we are going to heal 30, bringing us up to 9 or down to 90 damage. But that means we only have 100 hit points and the Flareon hits for 110. So it's going to be a knockout. I'm just going to hit for a knockout back at my opponent here. For the Cell Storm. Hopefully my opponent misses out on the energy attachments on the Flareon. He just needs one energy, that's all he needs. What do we get? We get a Shaymin and a Professor's Letter. Shaymin is good, definitely good. I want to get my Carbink, that is what I'm looking for. So if we can get a Korrina, that would be excellent. There is the one energy that my opponent needed, and a Blacksmith onto the Heatmore, if I were to guess. It's going to Blacksmith onto the Flareon. Okay. And he's going to move that energy as well. Now the Flareon is hitting for 150. I'm not sure why my opponent did that. He's still hitting for a 2-hit KO anyway, so... We shall promote our Lucario. I am going to attach a Focus Sash to my Lucario. And then we shall look for our Carbink. Do I get out any energies right here? I don't think so. Let's... Super Rods. I'm gonna have to use my Super Rod, I think. So I can draw into one more card. So let's use our Super Rods. Then let's bench our Shaymin, draw into 3 more cards, or into 3 cards with our Shaymin. Hopefully find a Battle Compressor or a Korrina. Battle Compressor to compress the Korrina. It is a Sycamore. I guess Sycamore is alright. Let's try to hit the Scoop Up. It is a Tails, never mind. So then let's get out some energies. We are going to discard 1 energy. And attach 1 energy to our Lucario. Yep, that's what we are going to do. Then we are going to Sycamore. Sycamore away to Zygarde. A bit unfortunate there. Oh, Trainer's Mail. Can we get an Ultra Ball from a Trainer's Mail? No, we just get a Korrina and an AZ. I guess I'll take the Korrina. And then we can Korrina for a Carbink. Alright, let's hit for 30 damage on the Flareon. So far it's not going too well for us, as 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 20 plus 20 is 70 actually. I was mistaken there. In the next turn we can actually hit for the KO on the Flareon if my opponent doesn't find a Fighting Fury Belt. He's got an Unknown and a Fighting Fury Belt right there, so I might have to dig for my Startling Megaphone with my Korrina and discard this Fighting Fury Belt one-hit KO the Flareon, leave my opponent with little to do against our Lucario-EX. And I'm also going to grab my Carbink here with the Korrina, or maybe not, maybe I'm going to go for the Zygarde, because my opponent won't have any more Flareons, since we will go for the KO here. And energy onto the Heatmore, yeah, I think that's it. That's going to be GG for my opponents. We could hit for a knockout on our Lucario with a reinforced flame, but then we should have a backup Zygarde ready to go in the turn after that. So let's look for our Startling Megaphone with our Korrina, and for a Zygarde, do we have the Startling Megaphone? We do have the Startling Megaphone in our deck. Excellent, excellent stuff. And let's then calculate again, because I need to be sure here. 60 plus 20 is 80, plus 20 is 100. Yes, that is enough for the knockouts. So let's attach this energy. Let's discard the Fighting Fury Belt. Bench our Zygarde. Yes, because the Lucario is going to get knocked out. And hit for the Corkscrew Smash. Might as well attach this to draw into one more card with the Corkscrew Smash. I don't think we'll need the Focus Sash anyways. Corkscrew Smash for the KO. We draw into one card, which is a VS Seeker. Not too useful, not too useful. We could VS Seeker for a Korrina. There is our last Regirock. Where are our strong energies though? With a strong energy, we should be able to knock out this Heatmore, I think. 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, and a Muscle Band. So we needed a Muscle Band. So it won't be enough. There's a knockout on our Lucario and another Flareon. This might actually be tighter than I expected. It is 2 versus 2, so maybe I should Lysandre here. Lysandre out the Flareon and put some pressure on the Flareon instead. I think that's the play. We shall Lysandre the Flareon. In the next turn, I'm also going to bench the Regirock. In the next turn, we are going to Sycamore and try to find some strong energies and then hit for the KO on this Flareon. Right now we are hitting for 60, 80, 90 damage, I think, with the Land Pulse. 90 damage indeed onto the Flareon. We can also Lysandre it back in the next turn if my opponent somehow retreats it. My opponent has used 3 Fighting Fury Belts, so I think we won't see another Fighting Fury Belt for now. My opponent might run 4, but he will need to dig for it then. He has 17 cards. Roller Skates could definitely help him to dig for the Fighting Fury Belt. However, it steals. No cards from my opponent here. Is this going to be GG? I think it is. Lance Pulse is going to take us the game, and my opponent concedes the match before we can do it. There is a win in a tournament with Zygarde-EX after a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's not a straightforward path. It was a very, I don't know the word. It took us quite some effort here to get all of those wins. We faced Night March, we faced Mega Semptile, and then we faced Flareon-EX. Flareon-EX was definitely the best matchup for us, the most favorable matchup, and at the end you definitely could see the power of the Lance Pulse. For 1 energy we are hitting for 90 damage, a 2-hit knockout on an EX, and then with another energy for the Cell Burn we are actually hitting for basically like 140, 150, sometimes 160 if we could find our strong energies, which we didn't in this game, but that's what just happens sometimes. They must have been at the bottom of our deck somewhere. We dealt 540 damage versus 450 for my opponent. Zygarde-EX MVP versus Flareon-EX. Cards drawn 25 versus 37 for my opponent, and actually my opponent had the biggest attack, 160 versus 140. So that's going to be it for this tournament, for this Zygarde deck. Zygarde Regirock. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the horrible starting hands, and subscribe to my channel for more horrible starting hands, and I will see you on Wednesday with a Wizard Wednesday episode.
Karp, 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 Karp.